9/11. This is one of the worst terrorist attacks anyone has ever seen, and it changed the future forever. It changed the way we live for the better. Planes. What are they? A vehicle that can fly. A vehicle that can take you to another country very quickly. In fact, traveling up to 575 miles per hour. Now to you 9/11 might just be numbers, but to many people it's the date that was occupied by this terrible disaster. 9/11 is about 4 terrible plane attacks that took place at the exact same time. Do you recognize this picture? These are the Twin Towers. What about this? You might just be able to recognize this, but probably not. These are all the places that the 4 planes crashed into. You might say that there were only 3 destinations, but there's not, as there are Twin Towers and each of them had a plane unfortunately crash into them. It's the 11th of September 2001, Tuesday at 8:45, 1 minute before history was made. 8:46. The first plane crashes into the Twin Towers. The hijackers aboard American Airlines Flight 11 crashed the plane into floors 93 to 99 of the North Tower of the World Trade Center, killing everyone on board and hundreds inside the building. Only 16 minutes after the first plane crash, at 9:02, the second one, flying in at a speed of 590 miles per hour, United Airlines Flight 175 nose first into the South Tower, into the building on floors 77 to 85. Now, as both of these aircrafts were filled with gallons and gallons of fuel, it immediately blew up. From news camera footage, you can see people jumping as high as 90 stories, which of course means death, but it shows that they would rather die that way than being burnt alive. Now it was time for the 3rd terrorist attack, this time in Washington, D.C. With a crew of 6 and 53 passengers, the hijackers flew the plane into the western facade of the Pentagon at 9:37 a.m. This killed so many more people, and as soon as the plane hit, people around the area started running for their lives, dropping everything and just going as fast as they could. Now, the next crash is one of the ones that stand out the most. As the hijackers took over United Airlines Flight 93, they started heading for Washington, D.C. But before they ever got there, the passengers all had very unique and different skills. They found ways to take back over the aircraft after hearing about the other 3 plane crashes. But it was too late. By the time they got it back, it was heading straight for the ground. They knew there was just not enough time to bring it back off the ground. All 44 people on board were killed, including the 4 hijackers, but terror didn't stop there. The towers and the Pentagon on fire. People stuck and still inside. The fire team was instantly called to try and save lives, but just remember, they are carrying very heavy things, and they could not use the lifts for obvious reasons, so they had to climb those stairs many times. The police did their best to keep everyone as far away as they could, even if they still had loved ones inside. After an hour and 13 minutes of complete chaos, the situation got much, much worse. No one expected the towers to ever fall, yet both of them did. The tower that was hit second fell and crashed to the ground, killing so many more people. As a humongous cloud of dust and smoke swallowed up lower Manhattan, people died just by the smoke filling up their lungs. Almost half an hour after the first tower had fallen, at 10:28, the North Tower fell unexpectedly. After this trouble, a news exploded with information. While people were still trapped and still trying to save themselves, it was breaking news all over the world. Now, this is what happened, but what about the background and the stories towards everything? How did they get weapons through security? 19 men boarded these planes with the equipment in their luggage to make a bomb and knives, which were yet considered dangerous. These were simple things that wouldn't be noticed by the metal detectors or anything like that. Then, halfway through the flights, they went into the bathroom and started to assemble the bomb and get out the knives as a form of threat towards the passengers. They then took over the aircrafts and crashed them into world-famous buildings. At first, nobody saw the plane go into the WTC. They just thought a massive bomb went off, but they noticed as soon as the second plane went in, to the South Tower. Why did they do this? Why did they feel they had to kill this many people? What's the reason? Well, the truth is, nobody actually knows. There have been many theories, but as they all died in the attack, they can never ever interrogate them to find out why they thought it was okay to do something like this. The US government was already aware of the main leader of the Taliban, Osama bin Laden. It was believed that he had orchestrated the attacks because of the Taliban's hatred of the West and their strong beliefs to their god, Allah. The hijackers were possibly brought up to hate the Americans and the country, which is why they targeted buildings which represented the US's economic and defense system. America declared war on Iraq and Saudi Arabia just days after the attacks, and it took years to find Osama bin Laden and bring him to justice. There have been many movies made on this disaster, including the newest show, Come From Away. They are all about the way it affects people differently. Some of them are about groups of people, and others are about one individual family or person. Overall, the attacks killed 3,452 people, of which 412 were emergency workers trying to save other people, and of that, 343 firefighters. 265 people were killed instantly on the 4 planes, 2,606 in the World Trade Center and areas close by, and 125 at the Pentagon, plus the 44 from the field crash. Many, over 6,000, were injured, most with lifelong injuries. In order to commemorate everybody that died, they made a memorial to those that died, which has been created in the footprint of one of the towers to celebrate the lives that were lost that day. 9/11 changed the way of life forever. In fact, it changed so much that the way we live today is very different. Airport security has increased to make everybody's lives safer when they travel. People dedicate time to those lost all the time, and at that point, so many more American flags were raised as a sign of respect. People started spending a lot more time with their families as they knew that in a blink they could lose them instantly. The design of buildings was improved to make them stronger, although the risk of attack could not be completely ruled out. Everybody remembers where they stood and breathed during 9/11. Everybody remembers watching it happen live on national television. Where were you when the planes hit?
11, are you trying to call?
The cockpit is not answering their phone. Our number 1 has been staffed and our 5 has been staffed.
Hey, I'm going to call from Washington. I am in a situation with American to learn a possible hijack.
What's going on, Betty? The crap is erratic again. Problem, very erratic. Betty, talk to me. Betty, are you there? Betty? Betty?
The plane just hit the World Trade Center.
What?
The 737.
Did what?
Like the World Trade
Who are you
Center.
talking to?
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
United 175, New York. We have some problems over here right now. We might have a hijack over here, 2 of them.
Jules, this is Ryan. Listen, on an airplane that's been hijacked, and things don't go well, and it's not looking good. I just want you to know I absolutely love you. I want you to do good. So have a good time. Same to my parents and everybody. And I just totally love you, and I'll see you later. Bye, babe.
What are those people going to do? All the elevators are blocked out. Oh my God. So both towers are now.
Okay, now I got an aircraft 6 miles east of the White House.
Crystal City, just north of Crystal City.
Just to the north of your town.
Yeah, stop all departures.
Pentagon just got hit. Don't fill in that. God damn, I can't even protect my NCA.
United 93, that traffic for you is 1 o'clock, 12 miles eastbound 370.
Negative contact, we're looking, United 93.
United 93, Cleveland, if you hear the center ident.
I got that business, huh? Keep remaining sitting. You have the ball, boys.
Tuesday, 9:47 a.m.
Hi, baby. Baby, you have to listen to me carefully. I'm on a plane that's been hijacked. I'm on the plane. I'm calling from the plane. I want to tell you I love you. Please tell my children that I love them very much. And I'm so sorry, babe. I hope to be able to see your face again, baby. I love you. Bye.
Number 56865. We have, I believe it is a Boeing 757. Can you see him up there, sir?
That's confirmed. It looks like he's rocking his wings.
Roger.
He's rocking back and forth.
Number 56865, I advise you stay away from that aircraft. Go north as fast as you can.
United 93, have you got information on that yet?
Yeah, he's down.
He's down?
Yes.
When did he land?
He did not land.
Oh, he's down?
Yes,
Down?
somewhere up northeast of Camp David.
Sean, it's me. I just wanted to let you know I love you, and I'm stuck in this building in New York. There's lots of smoke, and I just wanted you to know that I love you always.
At number 2 World Trade Center, right. Lady was shooting in the walking. We're not ready to die, but it's getting bad.
I'm on the 83rd floor. I'm gonna die, aren't I? No. I'm gonna die.
Liv, say your prayers. We're going to think positive because you got to help each other get off the floor.
I'm
Now,
gonna die.
A new type of war. That's what it is.